Well then, shall we try this once again? May the situation be all better. Welcome back. We are back. We are back. Hopefully things stay steady this time around. Okay, we are back and continue with where we left off. We just finished talking to Mona. And yeah, let's see where we go from here. I'm keeping an eye on the stream as always. Hopefully things remain nice and buttery smooth. Okay, moving on. Let's go see Monsieur Nouvellette. Am I walking there? Then we can just teleport. Oh no. Stay steady, darn you. It is not staying steady. Well, dips. It's okay. We'll see how things go. Let's go talk to Monsieur Nouvellette and let's see how the stream handles things. Open sesame. Enter the Palimlamonia. Palimlamonia. Monsieur Nouvellette. Bonjour.
You're here, finally.
Something happening?
Is something wrong? Monsieur Nouvellette and Lady Farina, they seem to have gotten into a dispute. Please go see for yourself.
Oh, that's not good. Looks like he wasn't able to pair his words in a good way. Ugh.
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not? Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
I've always thought that there was something suspect about our dear Farina.
You mean they're all...
Water. What else?
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again. I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
Correct.
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 featured different images that seemed to correlate to the prophecy.
The prophecy?
The prophecy
The
of
second
everybody
of these
turning to
slates
water,
depicts the
of course?
previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of this either?
I don't. I've never seen such slates.
Okay.
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no information regarding the previous Archon? My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If anyone would know about it, it should be you.
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I know nothing? I understand your concerns, but I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to tell you.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters.
Yeah, okay.
There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon.
She has the right to
But
do
it
all
is
that she
strange
wants.
that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets, as well as do nothing following your inquiries. You have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool. And yet, your behavior is very inconsistent.
She knows something. She knows something.
So you've been watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were that type.
She knows something. Something very important. But for some reason, she doesn't want to share it. It's something that makes her nervous, worried. Is it something that affects her personally or something that affects everybody else? I don't know. Something's always been off about the way Farina has been. I've always found it very suspect. What is her deal?
You...
Well, since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it.
You say
There's
that.
no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but you're still my subordinate. You should be following my lead. Just trust in me, your Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to or not. It'll all turn out fine.
Say that. There's something
That's all
you're
I
not
have to
saying.
say. We do not discuss this matter again.
You need to trust others.
Oh, the opera's about to start. Toodles!
Sound like Grandpa Jim. She's high. Why is she high? She's not trusting in.
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door?
More like she
Wonder what's
didn't
up
want
with
to
her.
deal with us.
She was smiling. She didn't seem in the mood to care if we were listening in or not.
She seems deeply troubled. She seems to be deliberately. That's what I'm saying.
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Yes.
Oh, you noticed. Seems Farina didn't even realize we were here.
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and again.
I do
A
feel like
state
you
of
were
affairs
a
that we
bit
cannot allow to continue.
forceful
Still,
in
I
the way you
do
were talking
not
to her.
understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage?
I'm afraid questions alone might not suffice. We need to make her understand how dire the situation is. She knows how dire the situation is. My idea is that she feels like there is no solution. Or that the solution is incredibly difficult to attain. Sacrifice. Either way, I feel like she knows the dire of the situation and she wants to fix it, but she just can't. She doesn't know or feel like it's possible.
Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. I fear that she will not reveal anything unless absolutely forced to. We may have to create a situation in which she will have no choice but to speak.
Oh?
Or she might climb up.
Like
permanently.
what?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon experience just such a scenario.
Yikes.
Farina's
Okay.
made so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that she won't just slip away at the first chance she gets?
Jelly. Our luck hasn't been great. I think we're at pity 36. We're almost 40. So we have Nahida, the one who'd howled badly. But also one Nahida's weapon. So I've actually been pulling. Hopefully I can get her weapon. And if I do get her weapon, then I will try for Hu Tao. I'm gonna try to pull for Hu Tao. Yes. Okay, so we're doing the Archon questing. We are in Fontaine. Bolsalor, I don't even think that's really her name. Farina is hiding something. She's hiding something. Again, I feel like she knows the solution to the situation. She probably feels like it's incredibly impossible to attain the solution. She's afraid of it, or for whatever reason, she doesn't want to talk about it. Now, Nicolette says we should put her on trial, and I'm like, what if she decides not to talk permanently? Also, I do want to point out we have been having a few hiccups over with the Twitch stream, but the stream seems to be surviving just perfectly. And now I just ended the previous stream and started a second stream just to see if it would fix. And right now things are running pretty smooth. Very happy about that. Also, just finished the Sub-Zero's Festival yesterday. Great. So, we're focusing on our conquesting. Anahita is powerful. Anahita is powerful. Alright. So, he wants to put her on
We will
trial.
need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties, and then do what we can. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy from coming to pass. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious, and so we must take a chance on this.
Oh, when you put it that way, I guess we'll need help.
But who will lend us their aid to do such a thing?
I think I know all. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters! A boat, submarine, quiet poisson. No! Jelly! You're making me jelly! I'm back, Tsubaki-sensei.
That's everyone, huh?
So I did end the previous stream and started the second stream, and things are looking buttery smooth over on Twitch, and I'm very happy. Also, Jelly just said that he already got Hu Tao yesterday, and her weapon. Tell me your secrets. Oh. Alright. So now it's time for the Archon's trial to begin. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. The hotel expert? maybe I'm wasting my luck. I've been pulling Pokemon cards, Jelly, by the way. Maybe my luck is being pulled by the Pokemon cards that have been opened. Anyways. Right now, I'm hoping I can get some. Hopefully I can get some wishes for by the end of this stream, so that we can try to pull more of Nahita's weapon.
Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so it's presently devoid of people. That naturally makes it the best choice.
And where are we?
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world, huh?
That's what families should do. Sit and enjoy a leisurely time together.
Oh, I almost forgot.
Nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Tatamate. Give me a moment, please. I want to show you something. Okay, there is something I want to show you guys. Oh, I should turn on the light. So dark anymore, not so dark anymore. So far, what we know, well, what I know is that Farina is hiding something. I know what she's hiding. She's probably scared of the solution. She probably knows how to fix things, but doesn't know how to do it. Is afraid of it, or she feels like it's impossible. But I don't know what her deal is yet. We're about to put her on trial and try to figure things out from her. Something's going on there, and I need her to talk. But before that, I did want to show you guys something. So I was in Dallas, Texas, past weekend, and there's a store over there I like to go to. That there's always like a bunch of it's a big area with a bunch of Japanese stores, We had sushi. It was amazing, delicious. But also, there's a little anime store right next door called Kinokuniya. Yeah, Kinokuniya, and they have a bunch of anime merch and and they have a little section of Genshin Impact merch. And so I always like to get some stuff, and then that's how I got so much Barbara stuff. But also this time around, I got a little Lynette keychain. I need more Lynette in my life, and so I got this one. I'm gonna open it up, but I don't know. I never feel. I always find it difficult opening stuff up, like the little keychain. All of my Barbara stuff is still in its packaging as well. But I also found this. It's a little Paimon thing. See that? It's a little Paimon thing. It's like a little random thingy. So something random's in here. I'm gonna open it and see what we can get. So these are the possible things you can open. Here, let me put the game just full camera. There we go. So it's got a bunch of these little ones possible in there. So I'm gonna open it and see which one we get. Okay, so let me see. We got sleeping Paimon, Paimon in a pot, Paimon in a sandwich, Paimon eating dessert, and Paimon eating meat. We're about to open it. Let's see what we get. I'm curious. Oh no. I want to damage the packaging. Yeah, I always like, whenever I'm in Dallas or whenever I'm in Austin, Texas, I'll usually stop by because there's always a Kinokuniya. And so I always try to drop in and see if I can find some nice stuff. That's all I got, a bunch of Barbara stuff. Okay. Open it. A little bit difficult to see with these sunglasses on. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's the little... Oh, we got Paimon in a little pot. I don't want to send things flying, so I'm trying not to open it too hard. So we got Paimon in a little pot. Oh, that's adorable. They had a bunch of them. I was like, ooh. I almost got a lot of them, but I was like, you know what? I'm just getting one. I'm just gonna get one. And then I got my little Lynette keychain. Little crown is not. Was it a separate packaging? Come on. I should get like a Paimon. Like a. You just. That's supposed to go. Is there like. Oh, there is a little thing. There we go. Let's go. Trying to put it in. She's getting cooked. It won't. I want to break it. There we go. Hey, she's getting cooked. I'm gonna put it right here next to all my other stuff. I wanted to open that one. I'll leave my Lynette keychain. It's packaging. I've been planning on getting like little shelves right here just to put all the merch I have. So I have a bunch of stuff, but I just don't know where to put it. More stuff in here, actually. What is this? Oh. So there's a little like card that shows her. Adorable. I might get more. Maybe we can try to collect them all. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to open that one. Ooh, a pin board. I'm also thinking, like, how am I gonna... Because I want to keep my stuff up here also. I got my posters and I got my records. And I'm like, a pin board. A pin board sounds like a good idea. Pin board and maybe... But I also have, like, figures and stuff. So I'm like a pin board and then also like one or two shelves. Something like that. Something like that. Maybe I'll just get a bigger room. That way I can have more room to put my merch. That's already too late, Jelly. I'm already addicted. I already have so much. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 figures? I have 7 figures. And then I have a lamp. I have 5 Pokeballs. I have 4 boxes of Pokemon cards. I'm planning to get a whatchamacallit? A thing binder to put them all in. And then I have a bunch of buttons. That's already too late. I already have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff already collected. Okay. Anyways, we're back at it. So we're making plans to meet Farina. Let's see how things go. Lene and Lynette are involved. Seeing Lynette is why I went to get my little button. The figures that I have are mostly Gargura, and then I got Oshino Cole figures and also 1 Maxikurusu figure. Those are all the figures I have. Okay, so let's see what Lene and Lynette are cooking. Hopefully not Paimon. Actually, no. That's why she's the emergency food.
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Me? No, I don't think I can.
Oh, come on, Fremine.
Then, how about you, good sir?
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in court.
Well then,
This is
I
quite
guess we're lucky we've
the
got a
motley
local like
crew.
me to organize things. Wonderful, the spotlight at last. I guess I'll be facilitating things from here.
That was a little long-winded, don't you think?
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, the Traveler, has brought us together to discuss something.
And what exactly will we be
As
discussing?
for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
I'm definitely probably as awkward as Fremine. The thing is, I am a... What do you call it? I am a social introvert. Which means I'm able to, have conversations with people and figure things out with people and, get things done. But at the same time, I'd rather just avoid people as much as I can.
Oh, how intriguing.
Lene is the
Well,
complete
It's
opposite.
just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand and used on the spot. So, let's invite her to explain in detail. A round of applause, please.
Ooh. Okay, so I haven't watched One Piece yet. Everybody keeps telling me I should. JoJo, I can't bring myself to watch JoJo just because it's a lot of muscle, and it just I have a lot of friends that have watched JoJo, and I know a lot of references from JoJo. It's just I don't know, it's too much muscle. I don't know, I can't handle it. Well, Dragon Ball, I've always meant to watch Dragon Ball. I did start it originally, but I never kept going. I think I watched 2 episodes. And then I've watched a bunch of clips online. Assassination Classroom, never watched it. One Punch Man, I think I've watched season 2, but I haven't watched the season 3. Really like it. I think if I were to get a figure from One Punch Man, I'd probably go with Tatsumaki. Or what's his name? The robot guy, the android guy. He's pretty cool. Yeah, I think I'd go with them. That was, by the way, the battle between yeah, Genos, that's right, that's right. The battle between Saitama and the alien was freaking awesome. Oh, I should get the bicycle hero. That guy would be really cool to have. Okay, so what is the plan, everybody?
Didn't you say that you would be facilitating this?
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might even pick up some fancy oratory tricks to impress your boss with in the future.
Oratory, she says. I will say one thing about One Punch Man. I love the show, and I do intend to watch season 3. I'm probably gonna rewatch the other seasons just to remind myself what's going on. But there's only one thing I don't like about One Punch Man. One Punch Man is a great anime, and I love Saitama. He's pretty cool. All the other superheroes are so... They're big jerks. They're all jerks. They're all very self-absorbed, and it just really ticks me off. Like, shut up. Saitama is the best. Like, I don't know. The other superheroes just really just bother me. The way they act. And it's just like, you know what? And I'm always like, come on, Saitama, just show them what you're made of. Just put them in their places. That way they can stop making fun of you. Anyways, Tatsumaki is really cool. A lot of the other superheroes are just jerks. I don't know.
I see.
That was
And
the one
what does
thing
my
that
boss
bothered me
say?
about the anime. Just like everybody was just such a jerk.
He is glad that you consider him your boss. Do go on.
All right, Clorind.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not that I recall.
Hunting?
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette, oh, right. You were sick that day, weren't you?
Did Lynette, the actual part feline, please say she's got no experience hunting? I'd imagine it'd be in her genetics.
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before. Does that count?
It's been a while since I watched the anime. I can't really remember their names. I know Saitama, Tatsumaki, and Genos. Those are the 3 names that I can remember. I remember the bicycle hero. I liked him because, like, even though everybody else was freaked out, he still stood up against the bad guys that have absolutely been destroyed if no one else had shown up. But he's still pretty cool. Old. Just can't remember their names right now. Gotta rewatch the seasons.
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Marechaussee Hunters. Though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus. Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society, taking up arms in other lines of work. They even left a unique methodology of hunting in their wake. A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment device.
So what
Sometimes
exactly
a
do
lethal
we need
implement will
now,
also be
Florent?
necessary to deal with the prey. So, if we were to build a trap together, right now, what would you choose to build
Let's
it?
hope things do go smoothly.
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see the bait and naturally enter the snare. Our line of work
Enjoy
requires
food, by
a
the
deft
way.
hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so you can count on our techniques.
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime. I'm quite the multitasker if I do say so myself.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like placing bait in the water and waiting for the fish to come within reach. That's the kind of method I would count on.
That does? Silverfang does sound
Steady.
familiar, but I
Exactly the kind of person
Gotta
who would
rewatch
catch
the anime.
loads of fish.
And I can be their assistant.
With discretion, I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their kind. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic enough, animals of the same kind will follow them all the way to the trap.
What about you,
Tricking
Monsieur
the
Neuvillette?
animals.
I fear I do not have any related experience.
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the use of any such tricks. But I do have one more question for you, Monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
Neuvillette is so powerful, he needs no traps.
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey. A more gentle trap would be ideal.
Kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured and safely contained.
Wait, why's that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that divides life and death is often exceedingly thin.
So, are we going hunting together?
Something like that, Fremine.
We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters. It kinda works, but maybe it's still not the best metaphor.
So I am noticing that the Twitch stream is once again being a little choppy. Play things smooth out.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate. But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god, a being whose seat is an exalted throne.
That's right.
Oh, so that's what's going on. Sounds very interesting.
Lauren's hunting metaphor was just that, metaphor. Not call this a hunt, because that is not what you do at present. Nor has the relation between you and Farina reached such a dire state. It is simply the secrets she is keeping. Attempting to take her secrets is an act of sacrilegious disrespect. Must be done to prevent Fontaine from sinking into the waters, as foretold in the prophecy. Why don't we just take everybody in Fontaine and move it somewhere else? Saying there is neither hunter nor prey, but must be a trap. That is what you will need. So we must somehow entrap our dear Farina. Try to get her to spill the beans, as it. Oops.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? So much has been happening.
Those meetings sure did make me hungry.
Paimon didn't think the meetings would go on for so long, but everyone seemed pretty fired up, huh? Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else just looked a little surprised.
Fremine is always frightened. Do you feel more confident after the meeting, my dear Paimon?
Well... It's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But with you around, Paimon sure will do great. After all, you're
Hopefully.
the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Huh?
Something wrong?
Did you just pour some tea? Paimon didn't notice you doing that at all.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Then what's that? Paimon's never seen that cup before.
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea.
Oh no?
I merely refrained from saying anything till now.
Who's that voice?
Sounds like. Oh no.
No one here.
What a strange conclusion, but also such an interesting one. You two make such a fascinating combo.
Oh, that's not Mona.
And yet even you feel confused. As such, I couldn't resist but come by for some tea and a chat.
Who are you? What do you want with us?
Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim.
Well, 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 if it isn't the old friend's disciple. So this is one of the friends of Mona's master.
Precisely.
Oh, N.
Call me N, a mage who wanders the world.
I do remember
At
N.
least, that's how my friends have suggested that I introduce myself.
Okay, well, allow me to ask you. Will Fontaine's prophecy come true?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
History of the future, she says.
Then is there any way we can stop it?
People call such things fate, and it is written in the stars. It cannot so easily be altered.
There it is again. Fate. Can there really be no exceptions?
Ah, so you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive?
What is she talking about? It all sounds really impressive and important and stuff, but it also sounds kind of scary.
The tea in the teacup is just about as gone as well. He is one thirsty, invisible person.
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant, but others you must reach out to change. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part.
You save everybody.
This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality. Well, that'll be all for today.
Are you gonna make us pay for her?
The voice.
What?
It's gone.
Mage N. Is this the clue for us? Play our parts, she said. The unexpected news leads to complicated feelings. When you wake up, someone seems to be outside.
What? I want to hear someone talking. All right, coming.
Well, you're getting more diligent, Paimon.
Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Mona!
How have you been these past few days?
Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that Steenbird panel. It turned out to be more interesting
She
than
had
I
a TED
expected.
Talk.
Not all Fontanians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around and waiting for the end to come would be wrong, and that they should make their own rescue preparations. I agreed, so we had a brief chat with her.
Did she have pink hair by any chance?
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. I assume you've heard of her, no? That daredevil journalist?
Daredevil
I'm in
journalist?
full support of her view. Prophecies are very important, but how can people allow their lives to be commandeered by just a few words?
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear something sensible for once.
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't reach the old hag. I'll try again tonight, but I wouldn't get your hopes up.
Well, actually, someone already did come over.
Huh?
You tell Mona about your mysterious guest. Mage
Goodness
N.
gracious. Are you serious?
I believe she came to pass a message to us.
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon. Most people would believe the gods to be all-knowing, right?
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N's sense of direction is incredible, and that she loves guiding those who are lost.
Interesting.
But I've never met her, and if she were still alive, she'd be
Well, suffice it to say that the hag's at least a few hundred now, and N's been around for longer than that.
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary group. But they must really stay in shape to live so long.
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then the problem you're facing must truly be of great importance.
Well, it's not
thanks for
like
adding
Paimon
weight
could
to my
understand anything
shoulders.
she said.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't say when or what that would be, though, so perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now.
Time will tell then. True, her words were meant as a helpful hint. When will we realize their value and meaning? Was that the best answer that my question could have gotten?
Traveler, Paimon, are you two alright?
Yeah, just lost in thought.
Oh, we're fine. We're just a little down right now. It kind of feels like the end is coming, you know?
I see. I feel that same sense of desperation, too. I guess you could consider me someone who has often witnessed fate. So far as I have seen, it cannot be swayed. But even so, I still hope for, and believe in, miracles. Astrology is eternal and rational, but fate may not be. It is cruel, but it can also be beautiful.
Anne did show up in the toy event, didn't she? She was in one of the was she? Where was she? She was in the flashbacks. She was the one that created the dragon. Is it? Anyways, she did show up. I don't know if that was her. There was two of them. One of them was talking, and the other one was gone. The one that was gone was the one that created the dragon. The one that was talking was the other one. One of them. There's two of them. One of them was there.
Perhaps that's what En was trying to tell you.
Oh.
Not to lose heart, and to believe that what you are seeing playing out before you is not yet set in stone.
Now I remember. The old hag was the one who created the dragon, and Anne was the one that was still there talking. Yeah, the old hag was the one that created the dragon. Anne was the one that was still there. Or, you know what? We have the archive. I will go back into the archives, figure this out.
I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to help everyone. If we don't struggle to the last, then how can we face the end when it comes?
Give it everything we got.
You do have a point.
There I go, talking about astrological principles again. Sorry about that. The moment I start talking about work-related stuff. I need to get going.
Don't worry about it, Mona. And thank you.
It was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I believe that you'll help those who are struggling in the same way I did.
Well, hopefully I am able.
I suppose that might be why we always seem to meet by coincidence.
Coincidence? I call it
Paimon
fate.
feels kind of moved by what Mona said. But also kind of sad, too. Hey, Traveler. Paimon suddenly feels like going outside for a walk. Let's go.
Let's get some fresh air right before the
Let's
end
walk
of this
around the
world.
city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
We'll just teleport outside. It really annoys me that the Twitch chat constantly has troubles in being choppy. I think it might be an issue just with my PC not being able to handle things anymore. Ugh.
Huh? Our names are written in this newspaper. What's going on?
Maybe we're famous.
Let Paimon see. The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy. But that does not mean that others cannot interact with it.
Are?
My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Guess Charlotte still hasn't given up on that. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blonde adventurer with their white fairy, legends trailing in their wake. It is said that this mysterious traveler once visited the underwater fortress.
Ooh, she's got the scoop,
So while
alright.
the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the traveler contain surprises in spades. Journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the Traveler's Trail, World Walker.
World Walker?
Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never even noticed her.
We're always very
She hasn't been able to
famous.
get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's using us as the subject matter instead?
Coin? Anyways, that sure seems to be the case.
Ugh, seriously? Well, fine. Those headlines and photos do look cool, so Paimon will forgive her this time.
It's a coin? Coin. Don't see a coin. Probably... I have no idea where it could be. Oh. Oh! How did I miss that? What the heck? Oh gosh, what's in here? A radiant spin crystal? Spin crystal? What do you do with those? What do you do with these? I have a lot of them. I don't know what to do with them. Where is it? There it is. What do I do with them? This wondrous crystal contains a certain rhythm, like something beautiful woven from delicate silk. These items can be found throughout the mainland or from merchants who collect curios. Tune held within the crystal can be revivified in your Serenitia pot using either euphonium unbound winding or euphonium unbound soaring. The tune contained within this radiant spin crystal is Coruscating Street. Well, I have a lot of them. No idea what they do, but I have them. Did we get any wishes? Oh, check me. No wishes. Darn it.
Something on your mind again? Let's work through it together. Two heads are better than one.
I think that it's just like it might be like the records from like Minecraft, you know, just like music stuff for the little Serenitia pot. I think I don't know. Sounds like that's what it is. Oh jeez. They look cool.
We're here! Paimon's hungry. Should we go in and get something to eat?
Yeah, Paimon's stomach is never ending. Let's see what they have in store. Oh, there's a very fancy lady there.
Look! That's the limited edition only 16 slices a day cake!
It hasn't already sold out for the day?
It was so delicious the last time we tried it! Despite the tense situation we were in, let's give it another go. Paimon's sure it'll be great!
Well, we can't let anyone get ahead of us.
One slice of cake, please. Someone showed up after all! Oh, wait!
It's
you're
our
the one from
little,
the Mermonia.
it's our little friend. I forget her name.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too?
Sadine.
It seems Monsieur
Also-
Nervalette was right. You really can eat.
I recently noticed their little wings. I didn't notice they had little wings. It's really cute.
Wait, did he really say something like that?
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to food. As for me, I love the cake and coffee here.
Do you come here often?
Oh, she also has a tail. I think I noticed that before, but her little wings, say.
Usually
noticed
every day.
before.
Every day?
Wow.
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have my cake and coffee.
You shall have your cake and eat it.
Then what if someone told you one day that this place would be closing soon, and you wouldn't get to eat cake here anymore? What would you think?
That would make her very
But
sad.
why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but maybe the waters will rise tomorrow. You know, like in the prophecy.
Oh,
You
the
say to that, Sadine?
prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much attention to that. No. Still, even if there'd be no more cake tomorrow, that wouldn't keep me from having some today. No. It's the same for eating in general. You might not be able to eat tomorrow, but if you can do so today, then you should carry on. That's what people call living, you know.
I was about to say, what did they say? What did Master Uwe say? Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why we call it the present. Enjoy your life, I guess.
Huh.
Don't worry about the past, don't worry about the future.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more slices of cake to go? These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this kind of expression you're making is what humans call being sad.
Oh, you know
Sijuin
Sijuin?
is an expert.
I sure do. She was born before me, and she sometimes comes to the surface to teach us things about humans. She said that humans are creatures that are saddened easily, yes, and you can only lift their spirits by feeding them delicious food. So please try the cakes here. I've got something else to do, so I'll be going now. You two try to stay in a good mood after eating, all right? Bye.
You know, I have heard that if you're feeling depressed, supposedly, chocolate can help you liven your mood. That or I am remembering a scene from Harry Potter when he gets attacked by the Dementors in like the train or whatever, and they give him a piece of chocolate. I might be getting things mixed up, but I know that I'm not saying that I get depressed or anything like that, but I do enjoy a chocolate every now and then when I'm feeling a little down. Chocolate.
And there she
chocolate. Oh, what I do
All
know.
right, let's dig in.
What I
I'm
do
sure
know
this cake will be delicious.
is that they say that chocolate is. Are you ready for this one? They say that chocolate, eating chocolate gives you the same. What's the word? Is it orphans? It gives you the same sensation that a kiss gives you. Supposedly, that's what I've that one I'm not getting mixed up with Harry Potter. That one's actually a thing I have heard, that chocolate gives you the same sensation as you would from a kiss. So, I mean, it's not endorphins. What do they call it? Whenever something dopamine, I think that's what it is. Dopamine is what it gives you, the same dopamine hit that a kiss does. Supposedly, that one is legit though. I do remember hearing that from like science thing, whatever. So, no maidens, eat a chocolate. I'm gonna scarf down the cake.
Last time, and the flavor gets even better with a sip of tea. It sure would be nice if we could come again tomorrow. Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious food here.
It would be nice, Paimon, but all good things must come into an end. Oh, how sad. I'm not a very big candy eater, but chocolate is like, I guess, the only candy that I... Wait, do you consider chocolate candy? Do you consider chocolate? I don't know if I consider chocolate a candy. Chocolate's its own thing. And I do enjoy chocolate. With my braces, though, it is kind of difficult to enjoy chocolate right now. I guess so. I guess that's how dopamine works. Oh, is that why people give chocolate during Valentine's? As like, oh, that would make sense if you think about it. Like, if you like somebody and you want them to feel good, you give them chocolate. It's like, we're not dating or anything, but here, this will give you the same feeling as if we were. You know, I guess that would actually make sense why people give each other chocolate during Valentine's. We're all looking for that hit of dopamine. Need more chocolate. No, but like I said,
Oh,
it's difficult to
we made
enjoy
a
chocolate
secret
in my
office.
braces.
Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
A lot of foods that I like become a messy ordeal because of my braces now. I know chocolate specifically. What was I eating recently? I think I was eating noodles. And noodles are supposed to be easy to eat because you just slurp them down. But I don't know, just like a bunch of stuff got stuck to my braces and it was just... Have I ever tried Mexican candy? Discúlpame, pero no sabes quién soy. Anyways, yes, I have enjoyed Mexican candy. I have enjoyed lots of Mexican candy. There's these wafers, little wafers, you know, and they have caramel inside. Those are my favorite. Those and the like what is it, like watermelon candy that comes in like the red wrapper. That stuff's also really good. We always have people that come and visit us, and they'll bring just like big, huge bags of Mexican candy. Wait, where am I supposed to go? What? Wait, are we? What? We can't proceed? So complete other quests to continue. What in the world? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What quest do I need to do? Is it just the world quest? I think it is just. Oh man. Okay, so we can't proceed with the main quest. Bummer. What can we do then? Well, it does say to finish other quests.
I see everything.
I guess it didn't do anything. Alright. Ooh. We do have some of these. Okay, I'm gonna do that real quick. Who knows? The third one. Ooh. I love the watermelon one. The watermelon one is my favorite Mexican candy, but the wafer ones are also... Okay, I'm gonna go over here. Third one? What do you mean third one? I'm supposed to do... There's something specific quest I'm supposed to do? Also, I do want to say, Tsubaki, that the stream is being a bit choppy, so you are in the past right now for me. Third one. This one? Best locations involve another. Steambird. Oh. To do that one? Okay. Okay, we'll do that in a second. Ah, is that what it is? Alright, I'm gonna do this one real quick. I'm gonna do this one real quick. I'm going to try to get the goblet, or what is it called? The lamp of the lost. Let me do this one real quick.
Let's dance. Hey!
Where are they at?
Wow.
Time to go on play.
Everyone hold hands.
Wings of darkness! Come, sever!
Now you're testing my patience.
Oh gosh.
Let the show begin. Temple of Wisdom.
Eyes on me! On for
There we go. Oh, someone's busy there. Okay, so someone's busy for the quest to work. We gotta do that world quest. I did build Fischl. So currently I'm focusing on maxing out our little radish here, and we did not get what we need. So I'm focusing on maxing out Nahida. Once I've gotten everything for Nahida, then I'm gonna focus on Fischl. Fischl is pretty powerful for me right now, though. Especially with her Oz. With Oz, she's really good. She's got the Stringless, which is level 90 with Refinement rank 2, which is really nice. I don't have any artifacts for her specifically. All the artifacts are kind of trash, but for now, temporary. I have leveled up her talents. But like I said, I'm focusing on Nahida right now. She has her sacrificial fragments. I'm planning on getting her weapon. Well, at least I'm trying to get her weapon. Focusing on her artifacts. I literally just need the goblet. I just need the Lamp of the Lost. Looking for Dendro bonus damage. So, that's all I need. That's all I need. Once we get that, then we'll do her talents. We're gonna have to be doing this quite a bit. Once we finish the talents, which should be easier than doing her artifacts, then we'll switch over to Fischl. And I think the first thing I'll focus on Fischl is her artifacts. So yeah. I'm just focusing on this one team. So my team right now that I'm focusing on is Fischl, Nahida, Barbara, and Beto. This is the team I'm focusing on. First Nahida, Fischl, Barbara, and then Beto will be the last one I focus on. As I finish them, then we'll be focusing on a team for Farina. And that is the plan. True. Unfortunately, I'm still too much of a low level that I can't really focus on the Imaginarium. I want to focus on building the teams so then I can focus on the thingy thing. What is it called? The Abyss. Wait. You. What do you mean? What do you mean by condense my resin? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? You're telling me there's something I can do to make things easier? What does that mean? What does that mean? I feel like I'm learning something new, something I should have known. Oh no. Wait. Is it? The Imaginarium is kind of confusing to me. I gotta go back and focus on that eventually. But it's kind of confusing. Not gonna... Okay, we're gonna go back over here. I'm seeing that the stream is smoothing out over on Twitch. Oh, I'm so glad. I hope it keeps getting smooth. Fortunately, Tsubaki, you are still in the past for me. Blame Twitch. Blame Twitch. Please, Twitch, forgive us. For we have sinned. That's a thing? Oh, you need a recipe for that though. And I also don't think I don't have that recipe. Oh. Is it a long quest to get that recipe though? Or is it the kind of thing that I could probably finish in part of a stream? I might do that next time then. Or I could also do that off stream. If it's a short thing, I'll do it off stream. If it's a long thing, I'll do that on stream. Okay. Euphrasia, It looks like one of my companions is currently stuck in your quest, so what's happening? Surely spectacular weather today, no? Quite comfortable, I agree. If only the weather was as cooperative every workday, I should be quite merry indeed. Wait, what? Oh no. Oh, it's a reputation reward. Ah. And speaking of work, my dear, you are here to interview for the troubleshooter position advertised in our Tales of Humanity section, are you not? Troubleshooter? Yes, I know. The name troubleshooter is simply too gauche and unbecoming of the standards of a publication such as ours. Yes, Ethan has substantial room for growth when it comes to coining new words. Oh, okay, so it's a Mondstadt reputation word. Okay, I can do that off stream then, and I'll just get that real quick. Putting that aside, for the moment, would you like to know how I was able to correctly ascertain that you were here for the job? Not seeking to ask for help in our Tales of Humanity section. Observation. Every citizen who comes to the steamboat seeking help appears anxious and jittery, but you... Your steps are relaxed, your expression calm. Definitely will help me a lot. I will definitely get that done. Those who are fortunate are all the same. Those who fall victim to misfortune all have their own woes. But you needn't worry. Those who seek assistance from others via Tales of Humanity haven't run into any serious trouble, so it shouldn't be hard to handle. Have a look at this batch of commissions. Oh. Hunting quests. Holy cannoli. That's a lot of reputation right there. Oh, so this is the lady here. All you need to do is find some time every week to read through the submissions to Tales of Humanity. Pick out a few commissions you'd like to handle and come find me to collect your payment. Some commissions are so drop-dead simple you wouldn't believe it, but you should underestimate the value of your work. For us, the problems in their submissions may appear to be easy and insignificant. Readers submitting your problems, they are like a splinter under their fingernails, impossible to remove or ignore. If we can help them extract these splinters, then in addition to the monetary rewards, you will also receive the respect and gratitude of the people, and your reputation among the citizenry will increase over time. When that happens, I will give you more complicated and important jobs. Help everyone to achieve happiness and be a lighthouse illuminating humanity. Such is the calling of our paper. Such are the feelings and aspirations of every publisher. No need for an interview? Interview? Your interview was complete before you even arrived. Don't be surprised, I have my ways. If I couldn't even manage that, how could I manage a newspaper? Alright, well, I've told you everything you need to know about this job. As for whether or not you want to take it, that's up to you. Think it over. Okay.
Should be a lighthouse of truth.
Did that take care of that? Is that really all I had to do? It is. Alright, well, thank you, Sufrasia. So I see that you're the reputations lady. Wow, I literally just turned around and immediately walked into the next one.
The Traveler and Paimon! Oh, have you seen the article I wrote about you?
I actually did, Charlotte. Well, it did continue things with the Archon quest. But I will say, I'm trying to focus back on right on the Archon quest. I think I will do the Mondstadt reputation stuff offline. So stay tuned for that. Ah, darn it. I'm really annoyed. I'm looking at the numbers over here on my right for the Twitch stream, and it really bothers me of how it just keeps going back and forth. Anyways, we are continuing with the Archon quest.
Ha! You've got some nerve! You just used us to make some quick mora!
So, can we negotiate a profit split?
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to discuss just that. It appears you didn't receive it, though.
Unfortunately, no. I had my hands full with
I
this
set aside the
stuff.
amount intended for you. I've even set the table with some food.
Really? Well, you're
little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives, you'd be in trouble now, you know.
There is a storm brewing. Apparently the weather is going to get bad tomorrow morning and I need to move my car. Alright, Charlotte. Oh, yeah, I mean, just offer Paimon food. She'll be immediately agreeing to everything you say.
Paimon knows you're not like that.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking for me?
A friend of ours met you a while back, and when she mentioned it, we thought of coming to see you. Her name's Mona.
Oh, she did.
Ah, so you know Miss Mona as well. She's a guest columnist for our paper. Really good one, too. She's so young and already such a brilliant astrologist. So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said
all
that
good
you're
things, all good things.
A daredevil of a journalist.
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil journalist dare to request an exclusive interview with the legendary traveler and Paimon?
An interview? Well, it's gonna cost you.
So your article in the paper today doesn't count?
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen and experienced.
So you seriously want to interview me?
Yeah. Are we even qualified enough?
I mean, we have been heroes time and time
If I say you're worth an interview,
again.
then you're worth it. But not right now, of course. I'll need a few days to prepare.
Oh, in that case, we'll just chat when you have the time then?
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief immediately. I'll have to apply for lighting, a venue, some props, and...
Wow, she's going all out.
Whew, so much to get done now. Talk to you later.
Johnny! Take care, Charlotte.
Wait, Charlotte, Paimon's still got a question for you.
Hmm? And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow, what would you do today?
If the world was ending...
That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often, but I've never once thought that the day could be tomorrow. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist first and foremost. That means I have a duty to be reporting from the scene. And secondly, I wouldn't forsake my homeland that easily.
She is dedicated.
From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass. In truth, it might be better just to behave like normal rather than worry over such an end. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. That sounds a bit sad, but I've always believed that it's best to do what you enjoy. Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish an exclusive interview with a truly unique person, then the story I would wind up writing would truly be timeless.
Wow.
And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get copies out to the various nations as soon as possible. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic, but I do love my job, and I'd be proud of leaving such an article behind. I guess you could say that I was born to be a journalist.
I'm impressed by
Anyway,
Charlotte.
That's my answer. And on that note, I'll get back to my preparations.
Hey, bye, Charlotte.
So nice. All of a sudden, Paimon actually kinda envies her.
She's not afraid of the end of the world.
Take a look at the sea, shall we?
So at this point, I guess we're kind of just like talking with everybody and seeing what their point of view of like the end of the world is.
The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh? Paimon's been thinking.
Shoot.
If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow, where would we go and what would we do?
I'd probably go to Leeway and have one final look at that amazing view.
If you could choose, what would you like to do?
If I could choose, This keeps reminding me of that one song. I think it's Bruno Mars. It's, if the world was ending. And then I don't remember the rest of the song, but it's something like that. Record. It's just like Charles said. Suddenly trying to consider what to do is pointless.
We've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. We didn't have to either, with us always being on the road and whatnot.
Until that moment comes, I think I'll keep on journeying. I mean, yeah. As you lived, doing the things you love.
You mean, still traveling?
Yeah, cherishing every single moment that I have to look upon this.
Huh. Wait, isn't that what we've always been doing?
Much. The banner goes back and forth between the two of you as time slips by. Night falls, you turn your commendations. It's a busy day. Very sad, somewhat, what's the word, low day. Asking what they would do with their last moments. What would you do with your last moments? What would I do? Huh. Are we gonna become a little bit existential? I guess I would agree. I would just keep doing the things that I love to do. I think I'd probably go to like a park or something. A national park. There's one big national park with like a bunch of mountains around it that I've been to before. Really amazing views. I'd probably just spend the there. It's a bit depressing. Anyway, the next few days are just as calm. Charlotte comes to find you and conducts the interview in the Spina Dorsura safe house at the Fleuve Cendré. Playing Genshin. Oh. No, I'd probably hijack a plane and fly it just because I want to learn how to fly, and I think it'd be amazing to this last thing I'd do, like, yeah, this is what it's like to fly. And then I'd probably lose control of the plane and crash in, and that would be the end of everything, right? If that's the end of the world, then let's have fun doing something awesome. Navia, having finished her business at Poisson, even drops by to take a photo with the two of you. All goes well. I've always wanted to learn to fly. Grind never ends.
Feels like you'll grow mold if you stay here long enough. But it's still better than the Fortress of Meropide, that's for sure. It's not only damp there, but salty too.
I don't like that.
Ah, so the two of you are still here. Wonderful.
Hello, Isadora.
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to look for you two before. I heard that afterward you went to the Fortress of Meropide.
So are you under the impression that we might be wanted criminals?
Not at all. I'm well aware that you're friends of his. Actually, I'm here to pass along a message from him.
Oh, well, let's hear it. Did something happen?
Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée
Rena?
Phantom has declared the incident a small-scale riot.
A riot?
What?
Well, that said, I don't personally think it was that serious. Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and while she was resting during an intermission, some other audience members suddenly started harassing her.
Interesting.
Loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis. And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow, and protests against the Hydro Archon started to break out.
So
Wow.
people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they've been under due to the prophecy.
You really blame them, though?
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is customary. But the moment people feel threatened, gods are also the first to be blamed.
So what happened after that? Is Farina okay?
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was pointless, she claimed that she'd gotten tired of this
Yeah,
and
she
left in a hurry.
usually does.
The Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone. Only when things had stabilized did we realize that she had gone missing.
So,
Missing,
you mean
you say?
she's
Wait.
still missing?
she go?
That's right.
It's not a
the
good
Mare
thing.
Chaussee has dispatched many people to search for her, but we don't have any leads yet. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god after all. Even if she were to fall into the hands of rioters, what could ordinary people do to her?
Well, I understand the situation
Good.
now.
Monsieur Nervillet sent me to tell you about the situation, but he didn't say anything else.
Probably figured we'd figure
Don't
something
worry,
out.
this is more than enough to go on. Thanks for keeping us informed.
She probably
Is that
went to
so?
ruins.
Well, all right then. In that case, you two take care. I'll be heading back to the Palais now.
Palais?
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then.
You sure caught on quickly. I was thinking she'd gone to the ruins, but I guess Poisson makes sense too.
If we know Farina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. Instead, she'll look for a place to wait out the heat. And as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but she doesn't have a heart of stone. When Nervalet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and she heard about Poisson, she couldn't hide her sadness and remorse. It would be hard for her to ignore being accused by the public today. Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson and try to relieve the sense
feel like
of guilt that she's feeling. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis to back it up too. Cool, huh?
What was it say? The prophecy in itself is sort of coming true in the fact that they made her feel bad and she started crying. I see becoming a detective has done you some good. Looks like those detective knolls have had an effect on you.
In that case, there's not a moment to lose. Poisson, here we come!
Poisson! I like that name. Ooh. Oh, we completed another's. Waiting for an achievement. What about here? Gotta finish the entire act? Oh, like. Ooh, but we did get some level up items. Yeah. Oh. Let's see if we can level up Barbara a little bit.
Guess all the survivors.
Yes, we can! Level 82. Nice.
Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
Let's hope she didn't turn into a puddle of water herself. And she can, but you never know. Oh, she's down below. Oh, she is here.
That's Farina, right over there. She really is here all on her own.
She's not planning on jumping into the water, is she? Shh. Hey, for now.
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Give up, Farina. There's no point in holding out. I'm sorry. But what can I even do other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over?
Would it be possible that she's the cause of this tragedy? Rena.
Who's that?
Don't
Hi.
worry, Farina. It's just us.
So it is you, blonde traveler from another land. Why, I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects. Come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
It's alright, you don't have to put a front.
You were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. I'm still trying to process it.
Furina.
Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were, disturbing my enjoyment of the arts? They even dare to tout their Archon. I must teach them a lesson. I can just imagine their twisted and frustrated faces once they realize that I'm nowhere to be found.
Can you please be honest with yourself?
And I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Marish Chaussee Phantom are freaking out right next to them, too.
Can you stop trying to act, Furina? You're actually beyond devastating now, aren't you?
Of course not.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there!
Get any closer,
Quick,
and I'll
after
push
her.
you into the water.
Furina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they? That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Oh boy, what are you gonna do?
Furina just ran off. Quick, we have to catch up with her.
Quick, after that god. Oh, we lost them.
This should be the place, right? Hey, Furina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here.
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
Follow me into this run-down building. Don't worry, everything will be fine. Why am I in the water? Oh, I guess this is where I started after the end of the cutscene. Nahida just ran off. Wow. Must stink in here.
Paimon's exhausted.
I'm so tired. I totally thought they had caught me.
Let's hope they don't find this place because
I
we
merely
got no
gave in to the
exit.
sheer enthusiasm they displayed.
Well, this place is not what I'd call soundproof. You want to lower your voice to stay hidden. Just saying.
You're right.
Yep, that's a good girl.
Well,
What's happening? The ground's shaking.
another disaster just struck, I suspect.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
A quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Nouvellette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
He is a man of
people of
genius.
Poisson, they've already...
Huddled. Has Furina reached her limit? I thought she's talking about her feelings. Starting to look far less stiff. You begin to talk amongst yourselves as Furina slowly calms down.
It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me.
Really?
I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled.
But even then, you still haven't given up, right?
Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate, but also for me to finally be free.
But everybody would be dead. That would also mean that all hope would disappear.
Indeed. I've thought about giving up so many times.
Your
Especially
Fontaine's last
after we
hope.
almost lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have already lost their lives. But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else. As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end.
All right, well then, please start by trusting us and
that's
telling
enough
us
for
what
now.
you know.
I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all. Don't take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the whims of trivial prophecy?
There she goes again.
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
Now we know the truth. So, basically, she has tried everything she can, but she hasn't been able to solve the problem. She doesn't know how to fix things. At least I know that she hasn't, well, I feel like she has kind of given up. We're running out of time. Can't just go back to square one like this. I have to get more information out of her. You might not have to shoulder this burden alone. Though I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
You don't have to face things alone. Even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confront someone. Just share with me what you call witness.
A witness.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here.
I
And
guess
if
not.
Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you?
Just a spectator, just watching popcorn in hand.
If that's the case...
There's no time left. Please, Frina, just spit it out. Come on. Yes. Wow. So that was the plan? That was actually a really okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance.
Wow. Nicely done.
Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
You see me turning my head constantly, it's because I'm looking at the streams, making sure everything's stable, but being a little wonky as always. Anyways, amazing.
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not
Well
forget, however, that I am Focalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, You will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
Oh. Oh, wow.
You would draw your blade against a god? I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Oh?
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Well, so it would
How
seem.
utterly humiliating.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Okay.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes.
All right. So
You
she's
are
willing to
not
talk.
the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed in myself. But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice! This time,
Well, okay.
I will protect you. Applaud and rejoice. One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focalor, will now begin!
Oh boy.
Oh, now we're making history.
She knows how to put on a show.
Farina just took over the whole thing. Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
Well, it kind of looks that
then.
way.
Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Hello. Thank you, Your Honor.
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness of Tivat, my accuser and fated opponent.
We were so close to getting her to tell the truth, and it still turned out like this in the end. It's okay, though. As long as we can defeat Farina in court, we'll still have a chance to figure out everything out. But the trial of the century commence.
Also,
Or the
please
millennium?
allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins. Just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
You have
We
no
did do
idea.
a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you.
Oh.
The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger into a flame. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean, the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
And their goal was
It's
to
like
force
everybody
you to
was.
step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontanian history.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese,
And so I do remember
the volume
that.
of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Aranias. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
Pretty much, yes.
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Sorry about that. We deceived you back there.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch.
Correct.
Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler,
Hello.
I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in Poisson.
Pretty much.
You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
But also, we really do mean what we said back there. Everybody wants to just fix the problem.
Oh?
My mission is to give you this chance. We hoped that you'd share your secret with us before the magic box arrived on the stage.
Is that so? Then I suppose I must have missed my final chance.
So it would seem.
It's fine. It matters not. What's done is done. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
I agree. Only thing we can do now is judge the Hydro Archon. Still, I can't help but be a little bothered by the conversation. What did Farina want to say to me right before we arrived on the stage?
Madam Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
Huh?
Oh?
Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh,
Yes.
so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte!
We do know that Nervilette is, in fact, the Hydro Dragon. And his tears, when he is saddened, is what causes the rains. He's also really powerful and can hold back the primordial sea. Now we know that Farina well, at least Farina has been trying, but she hasn't explained why this is happening or what can be done to fix the problem.
Oh, let Paimon see. Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? So she's already finished it, huh? Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine!
Ooh.
So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument!
It's a super practical gift. I would have thought of using it this way.
Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
Let's pour over the
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duel you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right.
True.
I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I'd been following all this time. I guess you could also see this as a happy coincidence. This is the first time Monsieur Nervillette had a difference of opinion with the oratories. Even the Hydro Archon can't figure it out. A Fatui Harbinger. She's an extraordinary person. Her instinct must mean something. The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day. That I didn't witness that scene personally will always be a source of professional regret, I think. According to Monsieur Nervillette,
the whale.
Both Child and that whale should have been in the primordial sea at that time. I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers. The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when something surreal happens to you.
Oh.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
The trial
Oh,
is
come
now in order.
on, Nervillette. There's no need to repeat all the unimportant legalese. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, I still haven't even been informed of my supposed guilt in all of this.
Well, then allow us to begin.
It is only natural for humans to struggle to understand the actions of a god. However, you will need more than that to convict me of a crime.
That's true, but my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Aha!
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking our duty, but did I hear that right?
Wow.
She's not our Archon at all?
That's one way to
Charge accepted.
Lead things in.
Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge? Lady Farina.
Well?
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine,
What do you call it? Fish with an eye.
other than your true Archon.
Yeah. Even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her very identity?
No.
Yeah.
I actually had this
never
question
questioned her identity
from the very
either.
beginning, actually.
Sure, Lady Farina can be super irresponsible, but what grounds does that prosecutor have
There
to make
must be more to it,
such a
though.
huge claim?
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no fooling their memory. See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be upheld?
There's more to this,
If
though.
you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the god of justice that you will not have to face trial for making a false accusation. We will treat everything that's happened as a dramatic spectacle and move on with our lives. What do you say to that?
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only refute Farina's claims, but also overturn the long-held beliefs of the people.
The people only see you as their Archon. That's their long lead.
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender. If you must persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not the Archon, then what manner of being do you think I am? And if I was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live for over 500 years?
There's more to it. To think carefully. What do we know to be special about Farina, exactly? So this is actually something that I've always had myself. He's not really the Hydro Archon. What is she, though? What is she? The only thing that comes to mind are the little people like Sedrin. I forget what they're called, though. But no, she's not one of them. either. She's something else. I feel like she's not the Archon, but she was created by the Archon. She has something to do with the Archon, but she's not the actual Archon. That's right, the Melusine. That's what I was thinking of. She's not a Melusine. She's not the Archon, but she has something to do with the Archon. That's why she lives so long. Okay. What do we know? Okay, choose the most reasonable. Court of Fontaine. And communicate with you by connecting your conscience. She believes the prophecy will certainly happen, but needing to give up. That's true. Relevant, it says. I think this one is the one. Yeah. I knew that what N said would have something to do. She said to play our part, so we'll play our part.
I think this clue can be used as compelling evidence to build our case.
Okay. I felt like what N said held some strength. Well, that's true. This one did. She knows quite a bit. She also did, yeah, the curse. Somewhat remember the curse. Don't really remember it too much. I think that would hold some ground.
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all, even if that wasn't the case, there could be other ways to extend your life.
Such as a curse.
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words
And yet
against
you're
me.
still so afraid of her. Anyways, it doesn't matter who gave us the information. What matters is the veracity, the claim.
A curse. I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse.
Interesting.
But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
Neverlet sensed it too, huh?
So, Rena, instead of an Archon, could you just be a cursed human? I'm also thinking about those slates again. How, like, Farina was, like, surrounded by all the people. And everybody was, like, sad about a sin they'd committed to the Sky Island. So anyways, instead of a
Lady Farina
Archon, you're a cursed human.
is actually a human?
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them. It's not impossible.
Ooh. Yoda Trees agrees.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said, how does that prove that I am merely a human being?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think you're actually a human being.
Everyone
but
knows that
there
the
might be
main
more to
difference
this.
between a human and a god is the possession of authority.
Not necessarily.
Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods. For centuries,
So why were you afraid of Corinne?
manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the endemitium that is used in every aspect of life.
Wait, that one trial proved the opposite. Rena actually has no control over the Oratrice at all. That's right. Completely took her by surprise during that last trial. Which one was it though? Was it this one? Okay, I thought it was the Linnaeus trial.
That doesn't sound right.
Or was it Child's
Paimon
trial?
doesn't think this...
Man. It's been too long for me to remember everything.
You tried to reference the Oratrice. But weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty
That's
without any
right.
proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with
That's
a
why we
good
ended up
explanation
going
for that
to
by now.
the fortress.
Didn't I make myself clear
off.
at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend. There is
That's a
no
whole load of
need
bologna
to
sandwich.
provide an explanation.
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this trial. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect and follow.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice.
Because he did not
Instead of
create
having
it.
been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon.
Exactly, what's her name?
The real Hydro Archon. Well, now you're really losing me. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict
Okay, so
that day.
finally you accept your
But the
mistake.
Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently ever since it was first created. You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god at all.
But you're not the one that created it,
She's
thus
still
you don't know
throwing
how
out
it
all kinds of
works.
excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
Sure, we can put the Oratrice aside for now, but then, Miss Farina, could you give us a brief demonstration of your power as an Archon?
My power as an Archon. There
Go
are
on.
many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly demonstrate the formidable power of an Archon?
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
You don't need to go that far.
A brief demonstration of your power over Hydro should be quite harmless, after all. Surely an Archon can at least match the capacities of a human with a vision. I mean, if I remember correctly, the Electro Archon was able to use her powers quite freely around people without killing anybody she didn't want to kill. Hell.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a god?
Does she not even have a vision?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and I've converted the people's faith in justice into Indemnitium!
That's a whole load of
Thus did I
baloney.
give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives. Have you ever seen a more magnanimous god?
Isn't that a huge stretch?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a god?
Oof.
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please don't stare at me as if I was a liar. I'm still the same Farina you knew, right? The one that
she's
you loved.
losing it.
Shouldn't you want to believe in me?
Well,
Please? You've got to believe me.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a grave offense.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And then all of our ancestors? Ever since they were born?
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro Archon, then who is?
that is
If
a
you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find anyone who can back up their claim to be such, then what grounds have you to say that I'm
No.
not actually the real deal?
No.
Wow.
You're not.
She came up with yet another argument. How can we refute her now? Seems like she really doesn't want to give up.
Is the Oratrice actually the Archon? No. Oh, well, that can't be right. If we can't prove that she isn't the Archon, we can try to prove that she is just a human. And if she's only a human, she's not the Archon. No, this one wouldn't really have anything to do with. Yeah. Uvalette was the one that pushed it back. Why didn't Farina go down there herself?
That doesn't sound right.
Alright. No. This one either. That kind of? Yeah. So it, either this one or the other one. Okay, the other one. It has to be this one? I really should have played this back to back to try to keep all this memorized.
All Fontanians can dissolve in water from the primordial sea. And that means...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicions of you being the latter.
Well, Miss Archon?
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you act in partnership with the prosecutor, you must still adhere to proper procedure.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the last time that I'll speak out of turn. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area not long ago, taking many lives, including those of some of my closest friends. So, Miss Farina, would you dare to touch some of this seawater? If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching this seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse.
That you are in fact human.
Oh,
a
and I must
Fontanian.
remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years. I guess her suggestion is valid.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontanian like all the rest of us. Would she really dare to try?
Ooh. Yeah?
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline participation.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession of guilt.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does seem like she's quite terrified of it. That could only mean...
Oh?
What's going on? Is she really planning to... that's not what we thought she would...
If she does, she would turn to a puddle.
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina, you may...
Oh.
Hey!
She actually...
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand is still here! I haven't been dissolved! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a normal human who would fall apart as soon as they touch this water! Really? Was this not the most obvious thing in the world?
Miss Siegewing? If you're present, Miss Siegewing, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
Siegewin?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see.
Something's about to be figured out.
That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss Siegewin.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. These indicate that she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
Well.
Thank you, Miss Siegewin.
Proof
Lady
is in the
Farina,
pudding.
You may return to the defendant's stand.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved. Shouldn't that be enough to prove my innocence?
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around Poisson. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely unexpected might occur, we don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low-concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness. It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Farina could have...
Turned to a puddle.
I can't believe... you...
What's really going on here? Rena can have not known the consequence of touching water as a human. It's too unlike how she usually acts, unless it's actually more important for her to keep up her facade than to say. There is more to this story, and if only she would just tell us. But hadn't she given up on everything a long time ago?
Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks. What happened just now didn't prove a single thing. Think about it. How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't also be affected by the primordial seawater?
Maybe.
Also, if I was really just a human, why would I dare to just put my hand in that kind of water?
To prove a point.
Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
Then just come out with it and tell us what really is going on. Some more to this.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just too stacked against her now.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for Farina to win.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
Oh boy.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. She's too stacked against her now.
In the prophecy, everyone's like surrounding her. Sits on the throne.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is guilty.
It's like in the scene.
We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Farina is...
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
Did the Oratrice just declare Farina innocent?
No. The oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty, to be punished via the death sentence.
The death sentence?
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that it was just a myth.
So much
The one and only
more.
time the death sentence has been handed out at the court. And it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an unexpected
But it
twist.
also does color the Archon,
Serena's
though.
been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth. How did things escalate this quickly?
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah! Even Fache wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
But I think that the reason would be because she can fix things. She can save everybody if she only trusted in everybody. But she doesn't, so that's why everybody's cursed to die. If only she would just trust in everybody. What's more strange is, instead of Farina, the Oratrice rendered judgment on the Hydro Archon.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Farina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place. But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does this mean?
There is more than meets the eye.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt.
Okay. Hey?
Is the trial still going?
Fremine! You finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
Alright. Some help from the other Fatui, Fremine brings a stone slate.
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and find the missing slate.
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water. But has the trial already concluded? Then doesn't that mean I've come too late? Oh no. Father will be disappointed in me.
Oh no. You've come at a very pivotal point. Don't worry, the mystery hasn't been resolved yet. It's still not too late for you.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates, and would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
This looks like the previous Hydro Archon releasing her divine oceanids to it.
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Farina, and we've already proven that she's not the Hydro Archon. So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kinda talking about?
The Hydro Archon released her powers to turn people or oceanids into humans? Explains a
In
lot.
truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
Wait, an association between the contents of the slates and the events in...
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates. Paimon will do her best to help you remember.
Oh boy. we go. Okay, so we can verify content. We just have to put them in order, right?
The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans.
Okay.
Does that mean that Fontanians are transformed Oceanids?
Which makes sense, because they may turn back to...
Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into humans, then perhaps this process can be reversed
by the
as
primordial
well.
seawater. You see it happening.
The stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them.
Is that how Farina became cursed?
This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the original sin and the Hydro Archon sin are the same thing? The third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else?
Did we?
Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea, the Hydro Archon crying on her throne, and so on. We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after that incident, it was just a question of when and not if.
They're oceanids, and when they get hit by the water, they turn back to oceanids. It seems to show the former Hydro Archon and power to real events related. Turns out the fountains can be dissolved by water. Years. Bashe can have dissolved many young women. Yeah.
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontanians can be dissolved in primordial seawater. And
Correct.
The first stone slate tells us that long ago, the Hydro Archon used her power to turn Oceanids into humans.
Oops, I didn't mean to click on the last part. So yes, we do know that is the... Now this one... A judgment down on them. This one seems...
Perhaps what is about to take place has all happened before. The true sin of the Hydro Archon that Nervilette mentioned, and the original sin cast down on the people of Fontaine by Celestia, as recorded on the stone slates.
There we go. It shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea, surrounded by many people. He's down there, but it doesn't make sense. She fell into the water of the primordial sea. She was surrounded by all the people that had died before her, trying to make her stay there.
It's not as simple as falling into the sea. When Navia fell into the sea, her consciousness was subjected to judgment. The stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Archon in the sea. Could that be alluding to the same thing?
Makes sense. That's right. Finally, a scene that is basically identical to that described in the prophecy circulating throughout Fontaine. Fontaines will eventually be dissolved into the sea, and the Hydro Archon will sit alone.
That doesn't sound...
Oh, darn it. I thought it was that one. Okay, well then it's one of these two. Yeah.
The prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society. But not many people believed it at first. The fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded with primordial seawater, which
It
we
never
know can
held it
cause
back.
Fontanians to dissolve. It seems increasingly likely that the prophecy may come true. If we hadn't dealt with it in time, things could have gone very badly.
Oh, so badly.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater, converge, and take the form of an oceanid. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court within her consciousness, and was forced to take part in a trial meant to make her stay. The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meropide was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The stone slate's content can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together, loads of truths should come to light.
The past is repeating itself. Because the past was never faced. She never faced her mistake from the past. And so now it's repeating itself.
Huh? Oh, Paimon gets it now! So that's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like we're going to have to share some truly shocking revelations.
Oh
Let's
boy.
hear them.
The first slate reveals that Fontanians are not real humans.
Incredible. Linny, did you hear that?
Oceanids.
We're not real humans.
The Archon used her
Fontanians
power
were originally
to make
created by the
humans.
late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their basis. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vacher dissolved were also turned into Oceanids. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial.
Yeah, I did
All
find
of
that
them in
rather
the shape of
strange, but I didn't
Oceanids.
connect the dots yet at that point.
Indeed.
The second slate reveals that the crime of the Hydro Archon was her creation of Fontanians from Oceanids.
And it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia by creating humans without prior permission. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty.
Because technically
It's to
she
account
is
for that
guilty for a
ancient
mistake
sin.
in the
The
past.
Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese. The twists of history are often the most unexpected of all.
As for the third slate, I'm still convinced that it should come after the fourth slate.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate?
And the fourth slate depicts the fulfillment of the prophecy as it's already widely known.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters.
You
and
agree.
only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne.
And
Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine
the
be
current
washed
Hydro
away.
Archon inherited the original sin.
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth.
Oh, well, we are a bit of a detective.
While you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different power source. When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. But since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was unable to come to a full conclusion.
Oh?
Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. If everything goes well, we should finally be informed of the unadulterated truth.
Proceed, Monsieur Novelet.
Well? Did you get it?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly summarize it for you. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontainians and the sin of the Hydro Archon were both correct. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land.
Huh.
The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the seven, did not possess the authority to create a new form of human life. Not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanid's blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontainians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids. Of course,
that's the
Hydro
part I was
Archon never
missing.
received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race.
I should have paid attention when Navia fell into the water. I didn't. I did find it strange when she was surrounded by Oceanids and how everybody turned into Oceanids after being human. But I didn't really understand it at that point. But that was the key information that would have made things more sense. Okay.
And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing.
And that's why she never shared that information either. She wanted to protect
We can't
everybody.
let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular
You're blowing their
Fontainian,
minds right
but
now.
it does answer a lot of our questions.
Especially why she
Alas,
wouldn't
your
talk.
hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct.
So they are in the right order? What is the third slate supposed to represent then?
A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather than Oceanids. They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate. Therefore, the meaning of the third slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice.
Which we did.
Yes, it refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So
Anne's words
what
are
you're saying
correct.
is,
We just
even
needed
though
to play
we
our
decided
part.
to put on this trial to avoid fulfilling the prophecy,
We inadvertently
in
fulfilled
truth,
the
everything
prophecy.
we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold. So now, it seems, we're the ones making sure it comes
The
true.
Hydro Archon has been judged.
What should we do?
I don't know. It's like there's no way out of this.
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled. Is this what it feels like to be a prisoner of fate?
But it didn't go as we thought it would.
Does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also be fulfilled soon?
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions.
Alright.
About the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, yes? However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come. As
Don't
for the
like
root
that.
cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before.
Have? The whale? Just what is the true source of the catastrophe?
This eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause of the disaster.
Is it the whale?
It was both dream and reality.
The whale is the true danger.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea,
It's
right?
supposed to be super giant. What is it though? Is that the real cause of destruction? Is that the judgment from the island Celestia?
The truth, the original sin, the trial, and the root cause of the disaster.
Oh no. Did the original Hydro Archon steal the power of this whale to make oceanids into... It's coming back to reclaim what it belongs to it? Oh, I hope that's not the case. Then we'll have to fight a whale. Oh boy. Maybe I spoke. I hate it when I'm right. I don't think you're strong enough. Primordial whale blubber. Took you long enough. Where have you been? Okay, I feel like he did that on purpose. He probably just wants to keep fighting the whale.
That was way too close!
Nah, he's been chilling, swimming in the water this whole time while we've been trying to fix this problem.
Huge whale you saw in your dream?
Well, that would be correct, my dear Paimon. I'd wager that it's also the one the child saw when he was young. He's fighting it. I mean, not fighting it, he's been having swim lessons with a whale while we try to fix all the problems in the world.
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea levels. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea, its next step will be...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood vessels with primordial seawater.
Oh. Hey, I wasn't too far off the mark. It is trying to get what it wants, which is the people. So it's trying to turn them into primordial sea. Also, I do want to point out that Child did come to Fontaine seeking to fight the strongest challenger around. Originally was Clarend, but he found somebody more powerful.
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh impossible to resist. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of Fontanians.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people again once it's managed to recover its strength?
Oh, good analogy.
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have likely come onto land far sooner. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
Nah, Child's just playing around with the fish. Don't give him too much credit, please. He'll get a big head when he comes back.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It is too late.
What do you mean by Dukes? Hey, Nahida. Oh, that's true. Hey, what do you mean Dukes?
It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become practically integrated with the sea itself.
Was all glowing blue.
Even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed, it could still survive and swim off towards some other world.
That's not something I will accept. We've already done everything we can, and we even found the true culprit. We've come so far. You can't just tell me that the last hurdle is some impossible foe.
Well, it would seem that way.
That's just not fair.
Indeed, that's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end, no matter what.
Like everybody's
so the
attitude.
prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
Remember, Anne said to play our part.
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
Everything, it still turned out like this. Couldn't fight against fate. Wait, but if this is all about
Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall?
like a huge whale,
Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part.
Guess that means I'm gonna go whale hunting. Could it be that even if the prophecy will be fulfilled, there will still be a way to save everyone? Something? Wait, I forgot about Farina. What was it that she wanted to say to me at that moment last? She did say we were the outsider. She called us the witness because we were outsider. Maybe we are the only ones that could actually face the whale. It's a real secret. That's what I'm wanting to know. Very beginning. What is she hiding?
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina!
No, I still need answers.
What just happened? Oh boy. Again, I feel like it's because we are outsiders that we are the ones that can be careful. Aquatic? Is that... Here,
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Yeah, you know.
Focalor. Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor.
He's been hiding.
That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe, now does it? She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized there was only one possible solution to this confounding conundrum. I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving everyone at the same time. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to clean up. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand?
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity.
She let go.
And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course.
Of course.
The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy. Under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die.
Think so?
But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy coming to pass. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Farina is only human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure. It must have been torture for her.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for it. It's been 500 years. And all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
Yeah, you really do owe her. She loves sweets. I came into contact with tears. If I remember correctly, tears often contain a being's strongest emotions. With sufficient activity, it can form an emotional connection, just like I did with the ocean in the town of Lucine. Wait. Speed. This inner. Yeah? What's she doing on stage? Wait a moment. That probably isn't Farina. That's likely a reflection of her inner self. Directly speak to that self. Might be able to easily get what. Oh. Came here for answers. Either way, this opportunity is not to be missed. We're talking. Or so you think. Or so you'd think. We'll save that for the next stream. Wow, we actually ended up doing a, what is it, 4-hour stream? Almost a 4-hour stream today. We did have to stop the first part because we were having stream issues. I think this is a good stopping point. That is one very long cutscene. Alright, well I need to go prepare for a storm that's coming. Can't leave my car out. So we will be ending the stream. So much for hanging out. That was a bombshell of information.
You have to see the world for yourself to appreciate how beautiful it is.
I think the biggest point of information was finding out that everybody was Oceanids. That hint was given when Navia fell into the water and she was being judged and then everybody turned to Oceanids. I didn't pay attention to that part like as much as I should have, because that was a huge hint right there. That was a huge hint. It wasn't until I saw it, like they went back through it and I remember I was like, oh, that's right, that makes sense. The only part that I didn't understand was the part that, was it again? Iguria, like, got rid of her divine self to create them. And then Focalor showed up and fixed her problem. So this whole time, Farina has just been the other half of Focalor. I always felt like that was kind of the deal, like, especially because her eyes always kind of tipped me off, something like that. It wasn't something I would say I was, like, dead set on, but I was like, oh, that would be interesting if it were. But I guess it is. I don't know, I think the biggest, like I said, the biggest point was finding out everybody's actually an Oceanid. and finding out that Focalor split herself in two. I think those were the biggest points. The whale, I didn't know how that part would play in. But the whale is basically hungering for the primordial seawater inside everybody. That's the real disaster. Furina crying on the throne wasn't the real disaster. She was just being tried for the sin which she was found guilty. Figure. She is in fact Focalor, and Focalor inherited her predecessor's mistake. I guess that's a really big deal, the fact that her predecessor used, was it the divine whatchamacallits to create everybody? And she was cursed. Wow. I mean, again, the part that really blew me away
If you're not sure what to do
was
next,
the Oceanid part.
How about I take you on a walk?
And finding out Focalor splitting herself in two. I guess next time we will finally find a resolution to all this. Alright. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. Well, you had as much fun as I did. And we will see you on the next one. Good night. That's all for now. See you again.